MMA boxing talk here. I just wanted to talk about Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor. And for the record, I do not want to see this fight happen, nor should any real fight fan, a real boxing fan, a real MMA fan, should not want to see this fight happen. Unless you're a fan of spectacles, then sure. And I know it's harsh, but that it is what it is. It's true. Um, Now, you got to remember Floyd Mayweather. He doesn't have many options if he wants a big payday. He's looking for $100 million payday at the minimum. And he just can't fight anyone and expect to get that payday. We just saw in his last fight against Andre Berto, someone who I think was ranked number 18th in the division, someone that should not even have been in the ring with Floyd Mayweather. And that fight only did 400,000 pay-per-view buys. Only 400,000. That's like an average UFC event. Not even, Anyway, so Floyd needs a dance partner. Pacquiao, he can fight Pacquiao, but that's a hard fight for him. 100% Pacquiao, very tough fight for him. And he's not going to fight Triple G. He's Floyd doesn't dare to be great. Okay, Floyd takes the fights with the most reward and the least risk, and this is something that he's admitted. So haters, fuck off. Sugar Ray Leonard came out of retirement and fought the undisputed middleweight champion of the world in Marvin Hagler. Floyd would never do that, come out of retirement and fight Gennady Golovkin. Also, for those of you who want to know the truth about Floyd Mayweather, I'm talking mainly to my MMA fans who are watching this video or any boxing fans that stumble across this video. In the description, there's a video. I'm going to leave a link for it, and it is a great video by Thunderdome Boxing Talk, who has over 11,000 subscribers. He is unbiased. He doesn't push an agenda. He's all about the truth and facts. And he has a video out talking about Floyd Mayweather and how much of a fraud he really is, and how much his resume is overrated and he's overpaid and all this stuff. But the thing is with Floyd Mayweather is that look at how much of a fucking just look at the facts. He wants to fight Conor McGregor because he wants the money. He's not interested in his legacy. He's not interested in building his legacy, because if he was, he'd be rematching Manny Pacquiao, or he'd be going after Gennady Golovkin. He wouldn't be going after an MMA fighter who has never had one professional boxing fight in his whole career. That just goes to show that's Floyd Mayweather in a nutshell. Like, what he wants his 50th win to be against an MMA fighter. That right off the bat, there's an asterisk beside that 50th win because it's not even against a pro boxer. And even when Floyd does fight pro boxers, he fights B-level, flat-footed guys that he's got reach, height over 9 times out of 10. When was the last time Floyd fought a prime undefeated fighter? You got to go all the way back to 2001. DeMarcus Corley, I believe. No, sorry, not DeMarcus Corley. It was Diego Corrales. That's the last time, 2001, when Floyd fought someone, a primed, undefeated fighter. Now, and by the way, Diego Corrales is not some all-time great fighter. He was a solid fighter at the time. It was a good fight for Floyd to take at the time. But Floyd, basically his whole career, every time he moved, he began at 130 and moved up all the way to 154. He never cleared out any of those divisions. He never tried to unify titles, things like that. There's only a very, very, like 2 or 3 occasions where Floyd actually unified titles. So he would go, every time he'd move up a division, he'd go and knock off the weakest champion. Most times there's 4 champions in each division. He'd knock off the weakest champion and just claim that he was the best, and he wiped out the division. When he retired in 2007, there was a lot of beasts and animals to fight at welterweight. He had an undefeated Miguel Cotto he could have fought. He could have fought a much, much better Sugar Shane Mosley. He could have fought, Paul Williams, Antonio Margarito. Also, Martinez. I can't remember his first name. Martinez as well. I mean, there's just so many occasions. Floyd, for one, Floyd's biggest win of his whole career is Oscar De La Hoya. You know, that's where he became a star. That's where he became a pay-per-view star. And Floyd barely won that fight. It was a split decision win. One of the judges had Oscar winning it. Oscar won the first 5-6 rounds of that fight. Floyd won the second half of the fight. But it could have been a draw easily. And that's Floyd's biggest win of his whole fucking career. Obviously, you got the Manny Pacquiao fight, but real fight fans know that that wasn't a legit win. You know, that could have been a draw, that fight as well. Manny Pacquiao wasn't even 100%. Not to mention, how many times did he get tested when we know Floyd got caught red-handed by USADA and they didn't do nothing? Floyd was juicing, guaranteed Floyd was juicing. He juiced his whole career. And let's not forget, Floyd Mayweather barely won that fight. You know, he could barely put any damage on Manny Pacquiao, who was a smaller fighter, who was an injured fighter. And this is a guy that, you know, Floyd ran from for 6 fucking years. Floyd Mayweather ducked and dodged a smaller fighter for 6 years. Who does that? Who ducks a smaller fighter for years? He was scared to death of Manny Pacquiao. And he's lucky that he didn't ever fight him when Pacquiao was in his prime, just murdering people, icing people left and right. Because Floyd would have been fucked. You know, Floyd would have been fucked if he fought a healthy Pacquiao. And I don't give a shit what you fucking Flomos say. It is what it is. But definitely go check out that video down below because it really, really proves that Floyd is such a fraud and just a coward, a diva, a cherry picker, all these things. You got to go watch the video. You don't have to watch it all. It's very, very long. But, the first 30, 40, 50 minutes, it's really, really interesting. And you're going to find out that Floyd Mayweather really is a fraud and a coward. And it's for those who might believe that Floyd is the best ever or is an all-time great. I don't even think he's considered. He can't even be considered with the all-time greats because there's too many fighters that he ducked throughout his career. You know, when you go your career, you retire, and there might be 1 or 2 fighters that the fans say, you should have fought that guy. You should have fought that guy. But you didn't. You didn't. Well, Floyd has about 10, 15 of those, maybe 20. It's insane how many guys he should have fought. He always waited until they were like 35 years old to fight them. Never fought prime, hungry animals. Never. So anyway, I just wanted to put this video out there. Let me know what you guys think. But that's it for this one. If you like the video, subscribe. Check me out on Twitter at MMABoxingTalk1. Peace.